Hello, my name is Stefanidi, and I'm a PhD student at the University of Bremen, Germany. I will present our paper, Children with ADHD and Their Care Ecosystem, Designing Beyond Symptoms, that we did together with Johannes Schöning, Yvonne and Jasmin Niess. ADHD is the prevailing mental health diagnosis in children. Children with ADHD exhibit symptoms across two areas, inattention and hyperactivity impulsivity. The care ecosystem of a child consists of all actors that play a role in their everyday lives, including family, peers, teachers, and potential therapists. Its role is crucial as they can offer motivational and emotional scaffolding, and they strongly influence quality of life, social activity, and success in school environments. Despite the increasing interest of the HCI community in designing technologies that support neurodivergent children, such as those with ADHD, the majority of existing approaches solely focus on addressing symptoms, driven by the medical model of disability, rather than neurodivergent interests and needs. Additionally, previous work has noted that existing approaches do not sufficiently involve both children as well as their care ecosystem throughout the design, development, and evaluation phases of technologies that are meant to be used by them, and that few technologies target multiple user groups. Therefore, we set out to explore how we can design beyond symptoms for promoting the overall well-being of both children with ADHD and of their care ecosystem by actively involving them throughout the process. Aiming to answer the research question, how can we design technologies that foster the overall well-being of children with ADHD and their care ecosystem by actively involving them in the process? We followed a multi-step, multi-stakeholder approach, which allowed us to iteratively refine our derived design implications. As a first step, we conducted semi-structured interviews with 6 children with ADHD, 6 therapists, including 3 occupational therapists, 1 psychologist, 1 psychotherapist, and 1 speech pathologist, 5 teachers, and 4 parents of children with ADHD, where we inquired about their daily lives, behaviors, the care ecosystem role, activities, and the use of technologies. Our findings underlined the vital role of the care ecosystem and of the environment for children and their behavior, and showed that care ecosystem members might assume multiple roles, such as parents acting as a teacher or therapist for the child, and how that might result in fewer playful interactions. Our findings also highlighted the need for communication and collaboration among the care ecosystem layers and the child to avoid negative outcomes, including unclear goals and the child feeling misunderstood. Additionally, our analysis highlighted the need to balance different perceptions of technologies, and particularly how activities and games utilized in the context of therapy might lose their appeal to children, who might eventually perceive them as chores. Finally, our findings highlighted the importance of empowerment and showed ways that it manifests in the case of children with ADHD, such as satisfaction, agency, and acceptance. The interviews helped us identify both paths and obstacles to empowerment, and particularly how efficient communication among the various care ecosystem layers and with the child leading to collaboration and shared clear goals can be a path to empowerment, while the opposite can lead to negative outcomes, as visualized in the figure on the right. Based on our findings, a key concept for fostering the overall well-being of children with ADHD and their care ecosystem is to empower them by facilitating and supporting efficient communication and collaboration among them. Based on the findings from Step 1, and in order to address our research question, we wanted to then conduct co-design sessions to support children's agency and design a technology they'd like to have and use in their daily lives that empowers them. To explore how the co-design activity should look like, and in line with our vision to actively involve them and their care ecosystem, in Step 2, we conducted a pilot co-design session with 1 child with ADHD and 2 therapists, where the child was asked to draw the story about the activities he did in his day, using drawing, collage, and smileys. This session was then discussed in an interview with an occupational therapist and a UX designer. Based on the findings from Step 2, we formulated a co-design activity to conduct with both children with and without an ADHD diagnosis. The key concepts for technologies fostering the overall well-being of children with ADHD and their care ecosystem were also refined to include the aspect of expressing experiences and feelings and reflecting upon them. Therefore, in order to explore how reflection could be used as a means to well-being, we decided to integrate it within the co-design activity, along with reflective questions to scaffold the storytelling of children. Therefore, in Step 3, we conducted co-design sessions with 5 children with ADHD and 3 therapists, as well as with 6 neurotypical children. During the co-design activity, children were asked to design an application on a paper tablet and tell the story of something that recently happened and they liked. They could use drawing and collage materials, including paper icons that represented different media, such as video or audio recordings, and emotion smileys. They were also provided with paper snippets, bearing prompts they could use to help them tell the story. The findings from the 11 co-design sessions further underline the importance of free expression and reflection as vehicles to well-being, additionally linking them to aspects of empowerment such as satisfaction and agency, since the activity appealed to all children and they enjoyed being able to freely express themselves. In particular, the activity was fun and engaging, and some children got so immersed that they pretended to tap on the recording button and speak once they glued it on the paper tablet. Children participants, both with and without an ADHD diagnosis, liked the idea of being able to log and keep their memories, and be able to go back to them later. Some even specified that they would not use such an application as a game, but as a way to express themselves more freely. They also said that they would share the post they create with their family, peers, teachers, or therapists, and they particularly liked the ability to add the feelings that belong to the experience with the icons. Interestingly, 8 out of 11 children said that they would only like to record positive experiences, as they would not want to remember negative ones, or doing so might make them feel sad or angry. Another interesting observation is that one participant associated both positive and negative feelings with the positive experience of playing a video game, namely happiness, anger, and sadness. In step 4, we conducted a focus group with 3 psychologists specializing in children and family therapy in order to discuss the co-design session findings and get valuable input from the children's therapists, as well as further refine the design implications. Our analysis of the focus group highlighted the importance and potential benefits of technologies allowing externalization and visualization of experiences and emotions, as it can significantly decrease the noise in the communication between children and therapists, and would also enable both therapists and other care ecosystem members to assess and evaluate the child's feelings. The idea of such an application additionally providing similar functionality for the adult members of the care ecosystem was also discussed, as therapists pointed out how having access to such posts from children, but also from other members of the care ecosystem such as their parents or teachers, would enable them to have a more holistic view. Moreover, the therapists were particularly excited about the possible benefits of such an application for their communication and collaboration, and insights that would otherwise be hard to acquire, which could lead to common standards and goals. Furthermore, our findings showed that such a technology could enable free expression and could foster reflection. All 3 therapists agreed on the usefulness of showing children positive past events and discussing their feelings about them, and associated this kind of feedback with free expression, satisfaction, and the possibility for reflection. Moreover, they stated that reflecting on negative experiences can be beneficial, but only for older children or after coordination with a child's therapist, and that sharing such posts regarding experiences and emotions could improve empathy, feelings of togetherness, as well as emotion regulation, which is of particular importance as it is common for individuals with ADHD to struggle with controlling their emotional responses. These findings reflect the findings of Step 1 and Step 2 and augment them by showing how the terms empathy and emotion regulations relate to the concepts of communication and reflection and are possible and desired outcomes. To summarize, we identified key concepts that technologies can employ for empowering children with ADHD in their care ecosystem towards fostering their overall well-being, communication and collaboration, and free expression and reflection. Based on our findings, in our paper we discuss how technologies allowing recording, sharing, and collaboratively reflecting on data and emotions could cross communication barriers and lead to shared understanding and empowerment. We also show that non-complex, multi-context technologies could help bridge the great divide in translation from design to adoption of technological artifacts designed for children with ADHD in their care ecosystem, and how designing beyond symptoms could be a potential best of both worlds scenario that is driven by neurodivergent interests while at the same time actively supporting children with ADHD. Thank you for your attention.